Despite the showers experienced over the last few days, Somalia's administrative center and its capital Mogadishu remains a relatively warm city. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV, on the 13th of November 2023. This is what we've prepared for you tonight. Somalia prepares 40,000 police for post-ATMI security next year. Somalia president meets presidents of Eritrea and Iraq in Saudi Arabia. Baidoa's Shati Gadoud Airport takes flight with enhanced runways. Strong ATMI Somali leadership collaboration vital for stability, the United Nations Assistant Secretary General for Africa asserts. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into a full bulletin. The federal government of Somalia has announced its preparations to transition the security responsibilities of the country to thousands of police officers. The move comes as the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia ATMI's forces are scheduled to withdraw from the country in December next year. The federal government of Somalia has announced its preparations to transition the security responsibilities of the country to thousands of police officers. This move comes as the Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia ATMI's forces are scheduled to withdraw from the country in December next year. The total number of police officers being prepared for this crucial task amounts to 40,000, with central government responsible for training 20,000 officers, while the remaining 20,000 will be divided among the regional states, totaling to 4,000 officers from each administration. During a statement addressing the preparation of these police forces, Prime Minister Barre emphasized that the forces will form the foundation for ensuring security across the entire nation. He further emphasized the need to equip these forces, adequately highlighting the importance of both quality and quantity. He underscored that assuming this responsibility is a significant step for Somalia and a demonstration of their commitment in front of the international community. Somalia is currently in the process of preparing to take full control of the country's security as ATMI's mission's mandate within the Africa Union approaches its end. Over the past year, the federal government has dedicated its efforts to combating the Al-Shabaab militant group, resulting in significant territorial gains. In September this year, Somalia requested a 90-day extension for the second phase of the troop pullout, which entailed the departure of 3,000 troops by the end of September. This troop reduction is part of gradual transition plan, with Somali forces taking over the responsibility of security from the ATMI's forces. Last year, Somali troops launched a major offensive against Al-Shabaab group with the support of local clan militias, Africa Union forces and international partners. Al-Shabaab, an Al-Qaeda-affiliated militant organization, has been engaged in a violent insurgency over the past 15 years, aiming to overthrow the internationally recognized government in Mogadishu. Although the group was driven out of Mogadishu in 2011, they continue to exert control over significant rural areas. On the fringes of the Saudi-African summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Sunday, Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met separately with the presidents of Eritrea and Iraq. The Somali administration announced without offering any specifics that President Mohamud and his Eritrean counterpart Azaz Afwerki spoke about the regional situation and improvement of the relations between the two governments. On the fringes of the Saudi-African summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Sunday, Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met separately with the presidents of Eritrea and Iraq. The Somali administration announced, without offering any specifics, that President Mohamud and his Eritrean counterpart Azaz Afwerki spoke about the regional situation and the improvement of relations between the two governments. Somali forces training in Eritrea are essential to continuing military operations in the central regions of Somalia. In addition, President Mohamud called for swift ceasefire and humanitarian access to Gaza in order to lessen the suffering of the region's vulnerable populace. President Mohamud again emphasized the significance of moving forward with a two-state solution as quickly as possible. Since the Palestinian resistance group Hamas launched a cross-border attack on October 7th, more than 11,000 Palestinians have died, hundreds of them women and children. About 1,200 people have died in Israel, according to official statistics. The president also met with Abdul Latif Rashid, the president of Iraq, and during their meeting, they talked about sharing of knowledge and expertise in combating terrorist organizations, collaborating on security issues, and addressing common interest between the people of Somalia and Iraq. The road that connects southwest city of Baidoa to Somali capital of Mogadishu is a dangerous one, as often plagued by uncertainty and insecurity. This meant a strong Reliance of air travel of the residents of Baidoa, the largest city of Somalia's southwest state with a population of more than 1.5 million people, and its airport was recently reconstructed. Here is a full story. The road connecting the southwest city of Baidoa to Somali capital of Mogadishu is a dangerous one, often plagued by uncertainty and insecurity. This has meant a strong reliance on air travel for residents of Baidoa, the largest city in Somalia's southwest state with a population of more than 1.5 million people. However, even the option has come with its own problem, as the condition of the runway and adjoining taxiways at Baidoa's airport was so poor that for many years, aircraft taking off from and landing at the airport's runways, especially fixed-wing aircraft, were at risk of an accident. This led to fewer flights to and from Baidoa. All of this meant plenty of work for Dr. Fauzia Omar Mahmoud, the medical coordinator for Isha Hospital in Baidoa. Formerly known as Baidoa Airport, the aerodrome has been renamed the Shati Gadood International Airport. It was built during the government of former President Mohamed Siad Barre in 1972. The country's descent into civil war in the 1990s and subsequent security challenges in southwest state meant that the airport was not maintained for almost 3 decades. Due to the financial and technical requirements for repairing the runways, the southwest state authorities were unable to deal with the rehabilitation project fully on their own, which led to the United Nations getting involved. In partnership with Southwest State Administration, the United Nations Support Office for Somalia took upon the challenge of getting the runway of Shati Gadood International Airport up to the scratch. The impact of the rehabilitation has been immediate and noticeable, allowing for an increased traffic from regular airport users, such as international partners from the like of the United Nations and commercial operators. The increase in the number of people and goods has also meant economic benefits for the southwest state. Currently, there are around 30 commercial flights to Baidoa each week, with 20 of these being from Mogadishu. An average of 1,500 to 2,000 people use the airport on a weekly basis now. There is up to an average of 1,000 people per week before the rehabilitation project. This figure is expected to rise in time to come as larger aircraft make use of these new tarmacs. Away from the commercial and transportation benefits, the rehabilitated runway and taxiways also contribute to broader peace-building efforts. The Assistant Secretary General for Africa at the United Nations Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, Mama Ama Akia Pobe, has commended the collaboration between Africa Union Transition Mission in Somalia, ATMIS, and the Somali leadership in stabilizing Somalia.
The Assistant Secretary General, or ASG, for Africa at the UN Department of Political and Peacebuilding Affairs, Martha Amma Akia Pobe, has commended the collaboration between the African Union Transition Mission in Somalia and Somali leadership for stabilizing Somalia. At a dinner in her honor in Mogadishu, after a 3-day visit, the UN ASG noted considerable progress in the country compared to her previous visit. She emphasized the timeliness and insightfulness of her visit, reassuring ATMIS and Somali leaders of continued UN support. Somalia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Ali Mohammed Umar, lauded the AU and international partners for their role in Somalia's progress. He acknowledged ATMIS, the EU, and the UN for aiding Somalia's recovery and stability. The AU Special Representative and Head of ATMIS, Ambassador Souf, briefed ASG Pobe on Somalia's humanitarian situation, ATMIS troops' drawdown, and the overall transition, including addressing flood issues caused by El Nino rains. During her visit, the ASG engaged in discussions with the Special Representative and Head of ATMIS, Ambassador Mohammed El Amin Souf, and ambassadors from ATMIS troop contributing countries. The dinner held at ATMIS mission headquarters was attended by high-level officials, including Somalia's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Ali Mohammed Omar, the UN Secretary General's Special Representative for Somalia, Catriona Laing, the Assistant Secretary General and Head of UN SOS, Asia Kasira Kirabu, the UN Deputy Special Representative for Somalia, Anita Kiki Gebehu, ATMIS Force Commander, Lieutenant General Sam Okoding, the Deputy Force Commanders, and the Diplomatic Corps.
Lovely views. That's all we're prepared for you tonight from our desk in Mogadishu. I wish to thank the Dalsan Media fraternity for making this news bulletin a success. On you, a lovely view wherever you're watching us from. Have yourselves a lovely night. Be blessed and kindly stay put for more stories in our subsequent bulletins.